Hi guys! So it's Princess here, as you can see, and today I'm here with two of my friends. This
Best
is
friends.
Best friends.
Don't even say.
Okay, so I'm here with two of my best friends, and this is Sara. Do you want to introduce yourself? And this is
Selina. What up?
Okay, yeah, so you guys probably remember them from the last video that we did. So we're gonna do a video on relationships today, guys, because we're obviously experts and we know everything about guys, so.
You dated like 32.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, like each.
32 together.
Oh, 30.
Didn't I tell you about the other two?
What kind of person dates 34 guys?
Alright, so the first question I'm gonna ask you guys is, what do you look for in a guy? And yeah, so for anyone watching this, most of you know that we're obviously Christians. Ew, just spit it out. So we'll be back in like 5 minutes. Yeah, there is an incident, but we won't get into it. Anyone can begin. I know, it's kind of a really broad question. But
someone who is obviously, since they know we're all Christian here, someone who's like God-fearing, and someone who is like just a man after God's own heart, someone that calls you higher and honors you, someone who's just genuinely loving you and building you up, calling you higher. Yeah. What about you, Selina?
Someone who definitely loves Jesus with all his heart, who puts God first, like, over anything, and who like loves God way more than he loves me.
Yeah.
Someone who's definitely like kind and loving towards other people, like especially like non-Christians and stuff. Like that's so important to like really reflect Jesus in their actions.
Yeah.
Someone outgoing, funny is ideal. So this is ideal. Outgoing, funny, loves to be crazy and dance, but also can be serious.
Yeah, that's good.
And someone taller than me, but yeah.
Aww.
okay, what were we
But
saying?
yeah, also like I feel like someone who you can just be like good friends with, like best friends, where you're just like comfortable with each other. You can like have the same sense of humor, like Selina said, like you should be funny and like
you should be funny, guys.
you're not
Just
funny.
so you
I'm
know.
sorry. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, just
Perfect.
like, someone who's just like caring and like you know, just genuinely respects you and.
I would say someone who is like patient. Patience is one of like the biggest things for me. Someone who is like not super sarcastic or anything like that.
Yeah, no, sarcasm is a big
I can't
one.
like handle that. Like I can, but when it gets like borderline rude, I'm just like
No.
yeah.
Gotta know.
Yeah, see, that's what's different between us. Like I can handle sarcasm.
Because she's pretty sarcastic herself, but like
obviously not when it's rude. Like that's not okay.
But yeah, someone who's not like rude, sarcastic. Someone obviously like loves Jesus and all that stuff. That stuff's first, but I'm sure you guys already know that. So like anything besides Jesus would be just like can be like really chill and fun to hang around. Like isn't super serious, but at the same time like someone who knows what he wants in life. Like someone who knows how to have fun. And yeah, it's just like really patient and gentle and just like not super like harsh or anything, because I can't handle that. Like I'm just trying to think. I'm sure there's so many other things I look for, but it's like not in my mind right now.
I think like something important is like when they respect your values and the values that you have. Like if I don't know, I feel like they don't have to like believe or completely agree with your values, but just like someone who respects your values too, I think is so important. Just so they're not like always trying to like prove themselves and be like, no, like what I say is what's right, but you know, like you can both agree to disagree, kind of.
Yes, that was one of the biggest things.
Yeah, just like respect each other and like
respect is huge.
Yeah.
I can't deal with it when like a guy or someone thinks like they always have to be right. Like,
Yeah,
that's something that like I struggle with. I just like it's okay to be wrong. Like we're all wrong sometimes. But like another big thing for me is someone who like pushes me like towards like my calling and my destiny.
yeah,
Like,
that's so true.
encourages me and like you know, can call you up in prophetic words and be like, but remember what like was spoken over you, like you know, and like encourages you to go for things even if you're scared and stuff.
So true, yeah.
And someone who's like humble.
Yeah,
Like
so
that's such a
good.
big, like I feel like being confident is so important.
Yeah.
But when like you're like so confident to the point where you're like putting others down and things like that, or like kind of showing off in a sense, like that is such a big no. Girls don't like that.
Yeah.
So being humble and like knowing that you're equal to everyone and that you're not better than anyone else, and even you're not less than anyone else, but you're so equal, and like just God sees you as the same as everyone.
Like obviously he's gonna be cute, but like that's besides the like.
He cute though, but he cute though.
He cute.
So true. Another question is, do you think there is the one, or how do you know who the one is? I have a different perspective now than I used to.
Yeah, me too, because of Patricia, right?
Yeah, because of Patricia. What's your perspective?
So I don't believe there's a one, because that's impossible. Because basically, if God worked it out so where God wants you to marry one person, if that one person marries another person, then they just messed it up, and then the person that was supposed to marry that person messed it up, and it was just like it like just does not make sense in any way logically. Also, I feel like God is a God of like free will, and I feel like there's different options that you could have, and like I feel like God trusts, like I feel like there's a certain person that God would love you to be with the most in a sense, but I feel like there's options, and if you don't pick that one person, like somehow life gets in the way. I don't think your destiny's ruined, and like you won't marry someone like. So I definitely feel like there's options. There's probably like an ideal person that God has for you, but I don't think there's a one at all.
Yeah, like what I agree with, like the way a preacher explained it to us like a couple weeks ago was that like God has the ideal person for you, which is like option A, letter A. Like God has that one for you, but if you miss that one, then there's like a B and a C kind of thing, like where there's like they would work too, but like he has like an ideal person that would work perfectly for like your destiny and stuff. And the reason why like I feel like there's free will is because like it depends on both your choices. So like God can't like force you to like end up with this person, because you both have to agree that this is the one. So like I think there's definitely room for like other guys to come in the picture, if that makes sense. Like I think just because you can't really rely on like finding that one perfect person, I feel like there's just you just kind of have to trust God and let that one slide a little bit. But my opinion would be there's like an ideal person, but at the same time if you miss it, it doesn't completely ruin your destiny or anything like that. Like I think God definitely can work with a plan B and a plan C. It sounds really rude to call like a guy a plan B, but
and plus too, like if there was like if you have that like ideal of like there's a one, then you put so much pressure on that person. As soon as they mess up, you'd be like, are they actually the one? Like are they actually that person? Like I just feel like that puts so much pressure on the other person that's not needed, and it almost makes them like feel like they have to live up to perfection because they're the one, so they can't make a mistake or anything like that. So I totally believe in like the ideal person, but definitely not like the one.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, it's that like pressure of perfection. Like if they're the perfect design of God for me, then that means everything has to work perfectly. But I think there's definitely room for like just different opinions on that question, because it's one of those questions where everyone's gonna have a different like opinion on that. So how do you know who the one is? Like it's kind of the same thing, right?
I think, I don't know, like something in your heart will tell you like they're the one, you know? Like they just, like there's no second guessing and there's no like doubt.
Yeah, like something that I like kind of pray for is that like when that time comes, like I'll be sure, like I won't question it, like I won't feel like no peace. I won't be like going back and forth like, oh my God, but like if he's the one, then why is he doing this, or I don't know, whatever. Like I would want to be sure, and that's probably how I would know who the one, since we're using that term, who this ideal person is. It's you would feel probably peace, and you would probably be sure to an extent. You'd be like happy.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely have a lot of peace, and I feel like the people around you, like who are really close in your family and whatnot, would like approve of them. But I also feel like God wouldn't like completely like leave you like blinded. I feel like he would confirm it in like some kind of way to know that okay, like God is in this relationship. God wants you to be with this person.
That's true.
And that's like a quick point too, like it's so important to invite God into your relationship. And like when you're able to do that, I feel like it's just easier
Yeah, to know.
Like,
Yeah, something I would definitely do is ask God about it. Like, we journal a lot because that's what school of ministry teaches us, and it's a really good tool to like hear God's voice on certain stuff. And if you feel like you might end up like writing your own thoughts down, like it's really good to go find someone who's older than you and just like ask, like, what do you see in this guy? Like, do you see, like, what do you see for both of us, kind of thing? Like, do you think this would be a good idea? Yeah. Someone who's like an authority over you and someone you trust, and even your closest friends would be a really good idea too.
I think a big indication too, like one of like the main indications, is if they're pulling you closer to God, like if they're bringing you higher, if they're unconditionally loving you, if they're living like Jesus in their relationship, then like that's such a huge indication that they could be the ideal person. But if they're like dragging you down, if you constantly have to pull them up, and if you're constantly the one like trying to bring them closer to God, then that's like a big like red flag.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that goes with like being evenly yoked, right, with the other person. Like, I think it's so important. Like, I know we talk about like missionary dating and like all that stuff, but like I think at the end of the day, like if what you want in your life is just to pursue God completely and run after Him, there's no way you could do that with someone that's not doing the same thing and running after God. And I know it sounds bad, but
it's
or
true.
like harsh, but it's true. Like at the end of the day, there's no way that you could completely pursue God with your entire heart if the person you're running with is like pulling you back and dragging you down.
But just a piece of advice I would give anyone watching this is that like one of the most important things is to make sure that you fall in love with Jesus first, because
completely.
like something I've been noticing is that no matter like how much you may want someone, there is nothing that will satisfy you as much as the love of God. Like and that's something that like I've learned like even the hard way, like just in the past and stuff like that. Like nothing will honestly satisfy you besides for Jesus. Like He is the one person that can fill up those like all the voids in your heart, and once you like fall in love with Jesus, there's so much less pressure on someone else to be perfect, because you know you have a perfect Father, you know you have a perfect lover, you know you have someone that you can run to who's perfect in every way, and you won't look for that exact perfection in someone else because you know it's not humanly possible. But just honestly fall in love with Jesus first, because no one else can satisfy. So another question that's just like I feel like people might want to know is, what do you think is or are good boundaries physically and emotionally to have in a relationship while you're dating them, like as a Christian?
It's a good one. Well, obviously it's different for everyone.
But we could start with emotionally even.
Oh, okay, yeah, emotionally.
What we learned about boundaries is like you can't like give them responsibility over your happiness and over your joy. But like even just like they're not responsible for your joy, they're not responsible for your happiness. Like you can't look to them to satisfy that. Otherwise you'd be a very miserable person. Like that would be my emotional boundary, is like not finding my joy in that person, but finding it in God.
So a good boundary is that if you're feeling like stressed or like emotionally down, or you're just going through something, like when you're in hard times, like try your best not to turn to the guy first. Like come to God first, like with your problem, and like sort it out with God. Like she said, have your left tank filled so that you're not constantly going to Him, because He will not fulfill those needs, and you'll stop finding the need to go to God, and you'll like go to Him for your emotions, which He cannot like fix your emotions. He's an imperfect person, but God, like the all perfect one, He wants to be there first. And I also feel like share your life with them, but like have certain things that you only talk about with God, that you only share with God. Don't share every single little detail with them, because I feel like that also like can get out the purpose of like God being the center of the relationship in a sense.
Definitely.
I think that's a really good point about running first to God before you run to them. Like they're not your source. They can't. They don't fix problems for you. Like they can give you advice and wisdom, but at the end of the day, like God is the one that will help you through everything, and he'll be the one who's there through it all, and these guys might come and go, if you know what I'm saying. Like you don't know that He's the one when you start dating Him, so you can't like put all that pressure on Him to like fix everything for you.
Definitely.
So but even physical boundaries, like what would you say? Like
I would say definitely like don't be in a room together alone. Like it's pretty obvious.
Like don't be in a room together, don't be in a house together by yourself. Like, always make sure there's someone around. Just like to be accountable to.
Because like we're all like we can all struggle with temptation to a certain extent, but like it's just kind of
It's
like,
heightened
even if
and,
you
like-
think that you're gonna be okay, I think being in a room together is so risky, and it can like things can escalate so quick, and like so I think driving together is okay, like going to like a park or something is fine, but I think mostly like be more with other people than you are alone, in a sense.
Yeah.
No, but okay, if you're dating that person,
I mean,
it's completely fine to be by yourself.
No,
I know.
yeah, but
Like
just
have that one-on-one time, it's fine, but don't be behind like closed doors in
Yeah,
your
that's
room
not
and like somewhere. Just be like public. Like if you're in a house, like be in the living room with like someone in the
that's so
kitchen
true,
or something. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Just just be like public about it. Don't be like super like secretive or whatever,
I definitely say like being in a room is obviously like one of the biggest things. Being alone, like in a dark space, like even if you're in the car, like I don't know, like the car is fine, but like I think it gets to a point where it can be a little bit risky, like if it's like really late and like no one's around and like I don't know, I feel like the Spirit of God is definitely able to lead you, but like you just have to be kind of practical. But something I would also say is just like being aware of like times, like the time of the day that you guys are alone together.
Important.
Like I would say, something else I would say is just like another piece of advice is that like something I've been learning a lot in this season is just like not to rush at all. Like there is no point rushing, because at the end of the day you're gonna live the rest of your life with Jesus, and He is the most important person in your life right now. So if you're not with someone, I don't think you should be like rushing, looking around for the one. Like it's really distracting, and I just really feel like in this season of whoever's life it is right now, if you're single, there's a reason for that, and this is a time where you can be focusing and just like focusing on the dreams that God has placed in your heart, and just like honestly going for it 100%. Like it's great to desire those things, like those desires are gonna be there, like
it's not a big
exactly
deal.
like we all like are gonna want someone to be with at some point, but if you find that that's not where you are right now, like it's just so important to be content. So yeah guys, just like basically just be content and happy with your singleness. But that's all we have for you guys today. So thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye. Are you okay?
Wait, let me just fix my shirt.
No, but man buns are... What kind of laugh was that, Sarah?
When
R-E-S-P-C-T.
when oh my god. So I really can't. Can I flipping speak? Okay, so another question is
A beard and a man bun.
Okay. So like if we're going by perfection, the boy needs to have a man bun at least sometime in his life. Like he can cut it off later, but for a bit and for the wedding. I'm joking.
Oh my god.
Awkward.
Zico, come here. Puppy. Gigi.
Bye.
That was a little rough, but
Let's try again.
I like it.
Bye.
Those words.
I'll do lower.
Okay, bye. No, bye.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.